Hello, Kaylee. Hello, how are you? Kaylee Main in the house. Kaylee, you're here all the time. Love Pugs, Sam. Kaylee gets notifications. That's one thing I do know. So if anybody gets notifications, it's Love Pugs, Sam, Kaylee. Hello, Rachel. Good evening, everybody. Hello, hi. Welcome. We're going to do things a little different tonight. I'm going to be your newscaster. Tom does Disney. And we've got some things to talk about. Number one being this thing right here. I want to talk about this thing. I want to talk about this thing right here. Star Wars, the Galactic Starcruiser itself. I'll put it right there. This is where I want it. Over the shoulder graphics. Mother Coconuts. Is that a reference to the to the Impractical Jokers sketch? It has to be. But I'm happy you enjoyed the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. John, hello, Doc. I was on their way to work. I'm going to leave this as a kind of a short and sweet little sermon that I'm about to go on. It is a reference to that. That's awesome. Good for you. That's a great deep cut. Jason, what's up, sir? How are you? Okay, so let's talk about the Galactic Starcruiser. As you all know, the Galactic Starcruiser is closing its doors permanently in September. This resort was, I think, let's start off with like this. The resort itself was, first of all, way too expensive. I think we could all agree we'd love to escape for a Star Wars adventure, but not when it's going to cost us anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000. That's as much as some people's cars cost. So it's like you can't imagine spending that kind of money for an experience at a hotel that is a 2-night, 3-day experience. It is insane. The price point was outrageous. I think that the other major factor that it falls victim to is that it was a planned experience. When you went to the Galactic Starcruiser, it wasn't just up to you to go out there and dictate your Star Wars adventure. Sometimes you could go to do this, sometimes you could go to do that. No, it was, this is what time this happens. This is what time this happens. This is what time this happens. This is what times this. It was just a relentless, this is what this is, this is, this is, this. It's not fun to spend that kind of money and be told minute to minute, hour by hour, exactly how much you have to do is daunting, and like missing some of it, missing out on any piece of the story that's happening to you. It's the ultimate LARPer's experience, right? Having said that, I'm getting used to my graphics, so bear with me. It was the ultimate LARPing experience. Everybody that I know that went and enjoyed this hotel did one thing more than anything else, and they would dress up in some type of Star Wars gear. Now, this is a good example of a family that's done it right. They look like they're just in the galaxy far, far away, not any particular place. But there were also people who were full on, that was the point of going. Oh, you know this person? Oh, good for you. I don't know who this person is, but shout out to this person. Her and her family did it right. She's in some kind of an Ahsoka type thing, and her family looks again like they're just kind of smugglers or people who are from a kind of an off-worlder type vibe. You know, it's a good way to do it. This is what I think. This is what the Starcruiser tried to appeal to, was families like this who could come, invest in the time, the money, and enjoy the experience. The Starcruiser itself, let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about the rooms on the Starcruiser. This is an example of a room on the Starcruiser. It is gorgeous, in my opinion. I think that if you were to take this and turn it into something that's just a little bit more of a achievable price point, since we have the room up, perhaps there's no better time to talk about what should the price point for something like this be. Yes, thank you. Live action roleplay, LARPing. My apologies for just speaking nerd out of turn. This is a good example of what, in my opinion, a room like this per night should cost you something like $500. If not, and that's the cheapest price point. I think during busy season, $650. That is a nice room. It is very cool. It's super updated. And I think that if you were to just be able to book it for, again, if you were to just book that room, let's call it $500 so we could do the easy math. If you're paying $5,000 and that room is $500, right? You could stay there 10 times. Not 2 nights, 10 nights. So for the same price point, I feel like would anybody have complained if the Starcruiser was a $5,000 10-night experience? I don't think so. This, I think, is very much so at that $500, if not more, price point. This is a great room. These aren't the only style of rooms. It's nice that kids have their own kind of section of the room, which you don't see a great view in that photo. Let's talk about the Halcyon itself. When this thing reopens, will it go back to this? Will it still be the Halcyon? But the Halcyon, if you don't know, this is where you're supposed to be staying when you're in Galaxy's Edge. This is the Starcruiser. It is geniusly themed, great design, and I think that really could probably stay the Halcyon. I like the Halcyon's logo. I like the magic band. I like the design of the outside, both sections. I think the prospect of going back and forth between a light cruiser, Starcruiser, up in the atmosphere of Batuu is the dream. That is what you should be aiming for. So I don't think the theming of the Starcruiser itself really needs to change. Although I think some people would want to tell you they would want it to be, they want, you know, Coruscant, they want Naboo, they want this and that. Don't forget we're on Batuu. This is a more up close and personal view of what is the Halcyon's interior. As you can see, layer by layer, you've got the basic design of what this hotel is. You have the restaurant, you have the rooms, you have the front room where you play sabacc and have your, you know, light jump experience. You have that middle room there with the blue screen, the square blue screen up top, that greeting area, common hall, where most of the, you know, fan-made activities are happening. One reason I don't think you'd have to really retheme this too much is because not only could the Halcyon be a place where people go and spend $500 a night to stay, with hopefully some certain experiences that happen throughout the day at random times, as they do at other resorts. You can't stay at Coronado and be mad that you didn't see Goofy and Pluto in the courtyard if you weren't there just at the right time. Some things could be like marshmallow roasts or movie night where there's a set time, but some things have to happen randomly, inspire people to want to come back more, and some things would have to be spread out throughout the day to give people a chance to plan for them, to not overload, and for it to be a more inclusive experience. One thing they could do to help that would be if you, a day guest, could go aboard the Halcyon, not staying there for the night, but if you could go up there, enjoy that common space. Again, it would be very tight numbers. This restaurant, I'm sure, was only designed for the amount of people that the Halcyon has. But if Disney could maybe get rid of some of the areas that they have set aside for these immersive experiences and pump out that restaurant a little bit more, it could become a lounge bar restaurant, much like any restaurant. California Grill, let's use an example. We're at Magic Kingdom. We want to go have a nice night at the top of the world, so that's where we go. We don't have to be staying at the Contemporary to go up to the lounge. If we have a reservation at Cali Grill, it's very difficult to get, especially say it was fireworks time. Tables, you know, window side seat, that kind of availability. Very exclusive, not easy to come by, but possible to attain if you put in the right amount of effort. That's the kind of experience this needs to be. It doesn't need to be the everyday experience. Batu is the everyday experience. If you want to go to the bar, if you want to sit down and eat some Star Wars foods, you can go to Docking Bay 7 with a mobile order. The food at the Galactic Starcruiser's restaurant, first of all, I want to show just a couple more shots of that restaurant and kind of how Disney wanted it to function in terms of having this type of projected Twi'lek dancer, singer. Everybody's hanging out at the restaurant, enjoying the vibe. Again, they could still do that. Much like Cinderella's Royal Table or Snow White's, that could be an experience that happens, you know, regularly throughout the night. It could be a character dining experience. You could have a couple people dressed up as bounty hunters or whatever you wanted to do. Chewbacca could walk around. I think he's kind of there already. This is another example of how I think that they could just continue this vibe out into the other areas to create more of a lounge kind of a setting. Let's talk about the food at the Starcruiser. This was the infamous blue shrimp. This was kind of a hit or miss for most people. Some people couldn't get over the color, but this was an example of some of the outrageous stuff that people were experiencing at the Starcruiser, and that don't necessarily have to go anywhere. More of the food kind of selections. Very cool, very Star Wars, very much so what I would expect to see at a sit-down Star Wars restaurant. I think that all of this is excellent. There you go. Very similar to the puff from, what you call it there? Docking Bay 7, but it looks like it's a little more tuned up. Contains 350 chemicals not known to mankind. That's hilarious. This is another example, people playing sabacc, I believe. Or if not, another type of, you know, around the table game. These types of things are cool and should be, you know, limited to people who are staying at the resort, of course. So anyway, my main thoughts are, I'm not surprised that this thing is closing. I think that it's going to hopefully reopen pretty quickly because Disney's not going to want to lose out on their money there that they've invested. They have a fully trained staff, so I hope it shuts down for about a month. Imagineering takes a cue from how they've been acting lately and how Universal's been getting after it, and they just get in there and do what needs to be done so that by that holiday season, when things roll back in, the crowds come and people want to spend that kind of money, they've got a new option to do that at. It increases the, again, I don't know what the value is per night. Disney might be thinking, oh, this is Polynesian bungalow type. I hope they don't think that. I hope that they don't think this is an $800-900 room, $1,000+ room. It's just not. It never will be until it has way more than this. Not just, forget about people who say it doesn't have windows. That's not enough for that. I've watched enough Hotel Hell to tell you. I've stayed at enough Disney resorts. I can't begin to tell you that is nowhere close to $1,000 a night. having a little indigestion today. I'm a fool for eating. I ate some Tostitos pizza rolls. Those suckers they always crush me. Something in there. Something in those pizza rolls that doesn't sit quite right in my tummy. Anthony, how you doing? So anyway, that was my little sermon. I'm not gonna keep you guys here for much here tonight. I don't have much else to say. I want to say thanks to everybody for hanging out last night. I want to keep this short so people can watch it back. And yeah, get out there. Go watch Josh and Jenna. They are having a cool little resort night, running around the parks on a Friday night. You know, a little gnarly, so that's a good idea on their part, doing that. For me tonight, I've got not much on the docket. I'm going to play with Ari here in the house a little bit. She likes to play tug of war and fetch and do all those types of things. I will be back, of course. Yes, tomorrow. I'll see ya tomorrow. It's only a day away. For real, though. Appreciate you guys. Jason, thanks, sir. Appreciate you. Courtney, Anthony, the gang. I am going. Hi, Lori. Thanks for stopping in. I am gonna try to get a little plan together for something tomorrow. I really would like to. I'm trying to find something a little unique and a driving force to get out there and explore. You know, some tasty treat, something to get me out there and adventuring with my little pupper. I'm gonna hit the button again. Sorry it's a short, quick one, but there's a lot of people you can go out there and watch tonight, including, I think, Dave Matthews, right? Courtney has a live show tonight, probably starting any moment. So go watch something that's more entertaining than what I can provide for you this evening. That's my discussion on the Halcyon Starcruiser's closing. I'm not surprised. I hope Disney's got ears out there and they feel the fan base out and they give us something more appropriate. Having said all that, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.